Be honest, are you ready for a real relationship or are you just scared of being alone? Because there is a difference.
That's right.
One leads to love,
yes,
and the other leads to confusion.
Yes.
On today's podcast, Cece and I, we are breaking it all the way down, and you don't want to miss it. Stay tuned.
Friends, welcome back to another episode. I am your girl, your host, Cece, and as always, I have my amazing husband here with me. Babe, what's happening?
I am amazing. I am nothing but amazing. Hey everybody, this is Will, and we are so happy you're tuning in for another real, another raw, and another relevant conversation about love, about relationship, and everything in between.
Yes.
If this is your first time tuning into our podcast, this is a weekly podcast where we talk about all those things that I mentioned earlier: love, life, family, and relationship, and we appreciate you guys.
That's right. We are so glad to have you with us today on this beautiful Saturday.
Absolutely. And as always, before we get into the topic of the day, we like to share our blissful moments. So today we're going to do something different. We're going to share a breezy moment.
Yes. A breezy moment, babe. Yes, that's right. All the people Bree did earlier.
Listen.
In the middle of the podcast, okay?
Our oldest daughter's named Bree, and she is unique.
Like her mother.
By that, I mean that she like her mom. Little insects, they freak her out.
They sure do.
We're in the middle of the podcast recording, and there I hear, "Daddy!" I'm like, okay, I'm not about to have that. So I just sat. Cece went and go check to see what happened.
I had to check
Come
on
to find
the
out
baby.
there was a tiny little fly. Now they let the fly in because they're the ones that keeps opening and closing the doors and let things in.
Right.
Tiny little thing. She already knocked it out.
She did.
But she wanted me to go squish the thing, and I was not about to have that.
Listen,
I'm in the middle of something here. A fly? No, she should. Listen, if I was here with her alone, I would tell her, squish it or deal with it.
Oh, you should have been here on Tuesday. She was doing her lesson and there was like a little fly on the curtain. She's like, Mommy, there's a fly here. And I was like a little spider.
They got to stop opening the doors. Or at least once they do, they stop, especially when they open it to the outside. Listen, we're in Florida. There's insects.
Yes.
And if you let your door open long enough, they will fly in.
And
if they do, well, I don't care. But she does.
I do. And I do care. And I went in and of course, I killed it. A superhero mommy to the rescue.
It was a tiny fly.
Or Wonder Woman mommy to the rescue. And I looked over at the little one. She was like, I was like, baby, you could have go help her.
Oh, the little one is my girl.
You could have go help her.
She doesn't trip over that stuff.
She doesn't. She doesn't.
Relaxed.
Remember what happened to the bee?
Oh, the bee.
Yes, that's Sunday. Sunday after church. Our girl was
we had to stop on the side of the road
to deal
with the bee.
Well,
the reaction she had, I think the bee got scared and died. Yes, she jumped in the back seat.
God.
I mean, we had to stop the car.
And we had eggs in the car, y'all. Eggs are expensive nowadays. You can't go ahead and broke what? How many? 4?
She act at 200% when it comes to these things. Yeah. She just goes berserk.
But she's not afraid of the other ones, though.
What other ones?
Like lizards and other reptile kind of things.
I'll have to see it. She's not
afraid because we had an iguana on the fence the other day and she was looking at it.
Okay, she can look at it from a distance.
But the little one didn't want to go look at it, though. The little one was like, close the blind.
It's probably because of you were acting up. You didn't want to look at it.
I was acting up,
You know, I have a little lizard living in my garage.
I saw it.
I have to find it to get it out. And right now, I'm not willing to spend it.
I was looking out the other day and I saw it.
And what'd you do?
It was so tiny. I didn't do anything.
You sure? There's a tiny one. It's been living in there. I gotta find it to get it out.
You're gonna have to get it out.
Listen, it's hot, and some of these animals they need refuge.
How big is it?
No, it's a tiny one.
Okay, no, I don't believe
That's probably the one you saw the other day.
I don't believe you now. Because you said in my shore. I don't believe you.
No, are you sure that you didn't overreact?
Oh my God. No, that's not what you meant. I know what you're trying to do. I know what you're trying to do.
Listen, we have creatures around here. Just what happened. We have lizards, we have iguanas, and when it's hot, like middle of the day, they'll just come on the fence.
And we have the S one too in the neighborhood.
Yes, I know. A few months back, Sissy almost let one inside a house. But so now when they open the front door, they have to do like
we kick the
couple of shakes.
Oh yeah, we do more than shakes. The poor the neighbor came out like, what's going on? We got our own process now when we open the front door.
I know.
We don't want to let you in.
But that's our moment. Our oldest daughter freaks out on any little insect. And that's how she's been this way. And I'm not sure she's ever going to change. We're just going to have to deal with it.
I'm still the same. I'm still afraid of them. So
yeah. These things are tiny, but they act up. But anyway, let's get into today's conversation, which I think it's one that a lot of people needs to hear.
That's right.
Even if they don't know it yet. Mm-hmm. Now, we asking something real.
Yes.
Are you ready for a relationship?
Are you really ready?
Are you just lonely?
Hey.
Because here's the truth. Mm-hmm. There's a big difference between wanting love and needing someone to fill a void in your life.
Yes.
And I know, sometimes they can feel like they're the same, but they're not.
They're not the same. They're not the same.
Love requires commitment.
And
a void just required someone that's readily available when you need them.
To just fill in that space.
And listen, before you start sliding into someone's DMs or chasing companionship, you gotta ask yourself, am I actually ready to love someone? Mm-hmm. Or am I just lonely? You know, this episode right here is for the people who are tired of chasing relationship that never lasts. For the ones who keep saying, I want to find someone who gets me. But deep down,
sometimes we need that.
It's good to find someone who gets you. But if you keep saying that you gotta find someone to get you, but you keep getting in a relationship and you keep breaking up and nothing seems to work, sometimes it's you. And what I say is that if you need to find someone to get you, make sure you get yourself first.
There you go.
Because many of those people, you wanting someone to get you, but you haven't even gotten yourself.
That's good. That's so true.
So we're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down in a way that's honest and a way that's relatable and hopefully freeing to some of you guys. Because sometimes the best love story start when you learn to stop running from your own reflection.
Listen, baby, we're going to step on some of y'all toes today.
And listen, if your toes in the way, we're going to step on it. But it's all from a place of love.
It's all love.
It's all love to you.
It's all love from 15 years of marriage and 20 years together. So it's all love. And we're going to keep it real with y'all. And sometimes you got to hear the truth, okay? And here's one thing I want to say, because loneliness is loud right now.
Oh, you say no more.
It's louder than ever.
Mm-hmm.
It is loud. People are feeling disconnected, even when rooms full of people.
Well, we constantly plug them, but we're not actually present. And that's where the confusion starts. Because loneliness isn't about having a partner.
No. It's about being connected to yourself.
Absolutely.
Your purpose. And I think it's so important to be connected to your people as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. But I like the self part.
Yeah, me too.
Because I think a lot of us.
Me too.
Well, I think I'm good with myself now, but that wasn't always the case. Right. But it's important.
It is important.
It starts with the self.
Yes.
We've been taught, that the solution to loneliness is a relationship.
To be with someone.
But what if the solution is actually healing? Maybe you've suffered some trauma, but you need to heal from it before you can get into a relationship.
Right.
What if instead of trying to fill a void with someone else's presence, you start asking, what is the void made of?
Right.
And are you just bored? If the void is made of boredom, then find something fun to do.
Yeah. Find a hobby.
Or if you're struggling with self-worth, then find things to make you feel good about yourself.
Yes.
Not someone though.
Right. Unless if you're at a party and you're at a club and you want to have a good time, then then that's different.
If you're lonely, you can find things to do. And if you have issues dealing with self-worth, maybe you need therapy.
Yeah.
Not someone to come and deal with your craziness. I think a lot of people, they fall into the trap of wanting a relationship resume.
You talking about a title?
Well, yes. I'm married.
Right.
My husband, my wife.
My fiance.
I got somebody.
When we were engaged, I love the word my fiance. Like, it's such a cute thing when you're like, girl, that's my fiance. There's a difference. There's a difference between, this is my man, my boyfriend.
Well, I know there's a certain feeling that comes with the
title.
Belong.
Right.
I'm with someone.
Right.
And I have nothing against that.
Yeah.
If that's the right thing for you and if you're doing it for the right reason, yes. But being with someone doesn't fix loneliness.
It doesn't. It doesn't really.
In fact, being in a relationship when you're not ready can make you feel even more alone.
That's true.
You've got another person's expectations to worry about.
You got my emotions to worry about.
If you got a girl, you got to worry about the emotion.
Well, yeah.
On top of that, you still got your own crap to worry about.
Yes.
If you're still wrestling with emptiness, that pressure can crush you.
That's true.
And believe me, I don't think that's something that anyone should put themselves in a place to deal with.
Yes.
Fix yourself first.
Yes. Fix yourself first, because listen, loneliness is not always about, like you said earlier, you got to be with someone. Sometimes it means you need to be with yourself. You need more time with God. You need more time to be around your friend. And sometimes you just need to reconnect with you, with yourself.
Absolutely.
And a lot of time people feel like they gotta have someone. They gotta be with someone. They gotta have a companion for them to feel like love.
Yeah, and this was it, you know, having friends, having people around you, that's not a bad thing.
Right.
You say you can have friends. Remember,
Yes.
friendship don't require certain commitment.
Right.
But relationship does.
Yes.
And I'd say we gotta be real. Sometimes we don't want love. We just want an escape, right? We want someone to help us forget about our past.
Yeah.
Someone to make us feel
Yes.
better about our pain. And a friend can do just that, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe if we suffered from some heartbreak, maybe
Yeah,
a few
broke
months
up.
back, or maybe a
Yeah.
few weeks back, maybe a few days ago.
Right.
Sometimes we need someone to help us deal with that.
Yeah,
And
like the
sometimes
song-
we just need someone to help us get over our boredom.
Yes. Like the song say, lean on me when you need someone.
Yeah.
You know, the someone doesn't mean a boyfriend or girlfriend or someone.
Yeah,
It means like a friend.
and if you need someone, you can rely on your friends for this.
You
And that's where you
can.
have to be really honest with yourself is what is it that you're looking for?
Yes.
Because sometimes it's not love.
It's not
Now,
love.
I know when you're in a relationship, you kind of get first dib on,
Right. Yeah.
This person is committed to you,
Yes.
but you have to be committed to them
Yes.
as well.
You have to.
And if you're not ready to
Yes.
to provide that level of commitment, just be with a friend. You know,
And
many friends will be really committed to you. And
That's
be there to help.
true. That's true. And the friend has to be a good friend.
Oh, yes.
And I think it's important for you to surround yourself with good people.
Oh, absolutely.
Someone that you feel like you can tell you what's going on with you, talk about your business, not just, you know, a coworker or someone that you're just going to talk about your business, but not really giving you any feedback
Yeah.
or giving that positive that you need.
And if you're gonna you know, friend somebody, you know, make sure that it's someone that could provide a support system to you, just
Right.
like you can provide a support system to them as well.
Right,
You know,
absolutely.
hey, listen, I've seen people get into a relationship just because they were tired of dealing with their own mess alone.
Yeah.
And at first, it feels good.
Yeah.
Listen, when you just get with somebody, it feels good, you know.
Yeah.
You're getting the attention, you're getting the validation, you get to cuddle, you get to do other stuff.
You
But
get the
eventually,
title.
yes, you get the title. But eventually, that honeymoon high will fade.
Yeah.
And then what?
Yeah.
Now you're just avoiding your own issues.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you're dragging someone else into it with you.
Yeah.
Which I think is not fair.
It's not fair to the other person because you still need to heal.
Yeah, and especially if this person came into that relationship with good intentions. They want to be there to support you, but they want you to be there to support them. And then come to find out you've got some craziness that you're dealing with. Now it's affecting them.
Yeah, and when you think about it too, relationship don't heal wounds, right?
No.
They reveal them to you. If you're going into it hoping that someone's love will fix what's broken, it's not going to work.
No.
Because you're not healed. You really have to heal before you get into anything with anyone.
You know, granted, it'll
Yes.
feel real good for a
Right.
moment. But you know, that feel good is an emotional high. And eventually that emotional high will come down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you're going to realize all that baggage, all that craziness, all that mess you had, that never left. It's still there.
Right? Still there.
So you still got to deal with it.
Yes.
So don't expect the relationship you get in is going to fix you.
Right.
Now, you may
Right.
get lucky. You may get someone who's got some special skills that helps you become
help.
aware of your issues or maybe
Right.
convince you to get some help. Because
Yes.
sometimes it may take someone you really love to listen to them
Yeah.
and help you get the help you need. Or that person may
Yeah.
be a professional.
Right.
Like I
right.
am. I
oh
can
my
fix
goodness.
people.
Okay, whatever. And sometimes too, the reason why I said earlier that relationship don't heal wounds where they reveal them, you could be with someone thinking that they're the problem and all along it's you that's the problem.
Yes, especially earlier I
Right.
mentioned that people that keeps getting into a relationship that never lasts.
Right. And you
people like
got to look
this.
at yourself and say, you know what? Am I the problem? And it's okay to say it. Am I the problem?
Oh, yeah.
And do I need to work on myself, right? Before I jump into anything with anyone. Because you have to understand that being with someone, I have to give that person my all. This is me. You taking me with me. Now, if you don't know that I have baggages and now out, you're gonna run off.
Yeah, and it's important to do that self-reflection.
Well, when you find out,
I know that's something that I've done myself. Like I've checked my egos, you know, and I know we've had way early on in our relationship, we've had moments where I wouldn't listen.
You wouldn't listen.
You know, I've already made up my mind and I want what I want.
You would tell me, get to the point. That was you in the beginning of our marriage.
Yes.
You would tell me, get to the point, because you already know, like, you don't want to listen. You don't want to just listen to me. It was hard for me because I'm one of those people where I want to talk and I want you to hear me.
And this is where me self-reflect on how I handle those conversations help. I've learned to listen more.
Right.
And I've learned to listen to understand. At the end of the day, even if I already had the answer, but that gave her a chance to express herself. Because one of the worst things we can do to our partner is to shut them off. And unfortunately, I had to learn.
Yes.
But you know, when you're in a relationship, there's a few things you got to do. One of which is that you got to love your own company before you can share it with someone else.
Yes.
You got to be good with yourself. If you're trying to build a relationship on brokenness, on issues,
drama,
it's going to collapse. Yes. It's going to collapse.
Yes.
And not only it's going to hurt you, but whoever else you're in that relationship with, it's going to hurt them. And believe me, why would you want to hurt someone you say you love?
Yeah, that's true. All right. And here's the truth, babe. Now let's talk about how to know you might not be ready yet. Okay. Because sometimes some of y'all think that you're ready, but you're not ready, boo. You're not ready. And you may be in your 20s thinking that you're ready, but then you're not ready.
Yeah. And just because you're not ready, you have to remember that doesn't mean you're a failure.
It
just means you need time to grow.
It means
listen, if you're young and you haven't had enough experience to deal with craziness, give yourself a chance to grow.
And if you happen to be lucky, you'll be with someone. They're the one forever.
Yes, but the worst thing you could do is to think that you need someone to make you feel okay.
Yes. To me, that's a red flag.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a red flag.
We have to already be okay before we can bring someone into our lives. And I will keep repeating it. You have to be good to yourself first before you can be good to someone else.
Yes.
So if you feel like you gotta have someone to be good, no, you gotta take a step back.
Yeah.
Yes. If you don't trust yourself yet, that means you haven't healed from whatever issues you may have been dealing with. Right. Because you gotta trust yourself. And that goes back to you have to be good with yourself. Or if you still hear your ex's voice in your head whenever you have to make a decision, and that's traumatic. Some people come from a relationship where it takes them some time to get over it. Yeah. But yes, if you're hearing your ex's voice in your head when you have to do things, that's a sign that maybe you take a pause. Take a pause and deal with that issue, get it out of there. Because believe me, that's going to haunt you in that new relationship, right? Yeah. Or if you're afraid of being alone for a week because it makes you feel like you're being forgotten, that's not readiness. Yeah. Listen, you've got loneliness issues. Yes, surround yourself with friends, people that can understand you, people that can be there for you. But I don't think you're ready to commit to a relationship. Yeah,
I agree with what you just said because let me be honest with you. Sometimes you got to look at yourself and say, am I really ready? You have to. And for me, I would say the sign that you got to look for is if you feel like your worth is based on if someone wants you or not, you're not ready. Yeah. That's a sign for me to tell you to pause and to think about, I am worthy. For me, you are worthy. A relationship doesn't add value. It just joins everything together. It joins us together.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right? People may think that, it adds value, it adds this. No, it joins us together.
Yes. In some way, it may bring something you did because, a lot of us would complement each other. Yeah. Like if I take you, for instance, you're the creative piece. I'm not creative in no way at all. But you are creative and you bring that into the relationship. Right. It helps. Right. She's the organizer. This woman has boatload of notebooks. She writes everything down.
I do.
I don't write a whole lot of stuff down. But now I started doing so. She bought me notebooks and so forth.
You still don't write on the notebook?
No, yes, I do. Yeah, I haven't been sharing them with you. They're like personal, confidential stuff.
Oh, the black book, huh? So you have one of those.
But we complement each other in relationship. Yes, and in some cases that does help because it allows you to bring something that I don't have. But yes, you're right. It still joins things that are functional.
Yes.
Not something that's functional and a complete dysfunction on one end. And you don't have to rush into a relationship just to feel love.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Healing is not a race. I believe it's sacred, and it's a personal journey as well.
Right.
So take your time.
Yes.
Don't rush into it. You are worthy of love, even while you're still working on you.
Yes, you got to work on you first.
You absolutely have to. You know, I keep repeating that. We have to be good with ourselves before we're good with anyone else.
Yes.
Now, what does being ready look like?
That's a good question.
Because a lot of people confuse readiness with perfection.
Yes.
But being ready doesn't mean you're perfect at it. It means you're self-aware.
Yes.
You know what you can bring, and you know that whatever the other person is bringing in, you're going to approach it with an open heart.
It means you're trying.
Yeah, it means you're trying.
You're trying.
Yes. It means you take the time to understand your partner, what triggers them, what needs they have, what goals they have.
Yes.
If you're in a state of mind where you understand that when you get into a relationship, those are things that you will have to do,
right?
I think you're ready.
Yeah.
Because remember, relationship drawing, it takes two people that are completely different and puts them together.
And
together they're going to start working towards some common objectives.
That's right.
Right.
And it all starts with communication.
Oh yeah. Listen, when you're in a relationship, you can't be blobbing, breathing, no one understand each other. Yes. You have to learn to communicate clearly. You have to be able to express your needs without guilt. If you feel like something is needed, you should be able to openly express what it is that's needed without feeling bad about it. You can honor your boundaries because, as we've said in many other podcasts, when you're in a relationship, you got to have some boundaries. So honor those boundaries, respect the boundaries of your partner.
That's right.
Right? You can hold space for someone else's growth without losing yourself. You got to be able to allow your partner to grow, but you grow yourself and take away any thread, any piece of jealousy that you may have. Because one thing that can get in the way, if you notice, your partner is going up and you're there, geez, that should be me.
Right.
No.
Right.
You have to create a space where you can allow your partner to be themselves.
Yes.
And obviously, don't ever neglect yourself.
Right.
I know a few podcasts ago, we talked about don't lose yourself in a relationship. You cannot lose yourself.
Yeah.
So if you have your goals, your dreams,
yes,
make sure that you and your partner, you're still working towards this.
Right.
And because you know what, I'll tell you, if you find yourself neglecting those things that are important to you, your partner is going to neglect it too. What good does it do for you in that relationship? It doesn't.
Right. So, I always say being ready for love starts with being ready to love yourself. Okay. You got to love yourself. So if you're listening and thinking, wow, maybe I'm not ready, and that's okay. That's okay. That means you being honest with yourself. Right. And that's the first step to become ready.
Absolutely.
You have to. That's the first step to become ready.
Yeah. Because the world moves fast.
Listen.
People rush into things just to feel something.
Yes.
Yeah, but you know what? Yes. Love is too precious to play with.
It is.
You can play with a lot of things, but love is not one to play with because you're messing with someone's heart. So take your time, heal yourself, heal your heart, and learn to find joy in your own journey.
Yeah.
Believe me, that's life.
Yes.
The things that we do that gets us to places, that's all part of life. So find reason to enjoy it.
And I understand sometimes it's not easy to find joy in your own journey, right? You may have to get yourself a therapist. You may have to get yourself, you may be a pastor to help you. There's broken heart or whatever that you may have gone through that's hard to heal. Could be something that happened and you may feel like, oh my God, I'm going to be single forever. But you really have to find joy in your own journey. Because you matters and you know that you have to find love again. And this is why it's so important for you to get with a therapist to help you heal. Because sometimes we think we can do it on our own. And sometimes for us Christian girls, we think that, trust me, God is going to help us get through whatever it is in this life. However, God has these professionals there to help us get through it a lot better. Prayers and therapists or professionals will definitely get you there in a way that makes more sense as opposed to you trying to figure things out on your own.
I agree.
Because love feels good. Love is beautiful, right? Solomon say that. Love is beautiful and love is kind.
Solomon was a wise man.
Yes. And here's one thing I want to say for my sisters out there. God is not punishing you for making you wait. Okay. And I always say this, He's preparing you. So when love does show up, it's going to feel safe. It's going to feel peaceful and solid. And it doesn't feel like you forcing anything. And that's one thing I always say for myself is I'm not forcing things. If this connection is meant to happen, it's going to happen. If we're not meant to be friends, then girl, bye. If we're not meant to be friends, then it is what it is. I'm not forcing anything. I'm not going to force a relationship that I know is not going anywhere. So if you are someone who in this season right now where it feels like love hasn't found you yet, maybe God is saying, let's work on you first. I think my husband mentioned this several times earlier, that you got to work on you. You got to do the work on yourself.
Absolutely.
I think it's so important for you to fill those empty spaces with something eternal and not temporarily, right? And when the time is right, love will meet you where you are, healed, whole, and ready.
You're absolutely right. And this is where it's good. It's good to work on God's time.
Yes.
Sometimes we want things on our own time, but if it's not the right time, sometimes we just going into something prematurely.
Yes.
And sometimes we pay for it dearly.
Yes. We do.
So if I can leave you with one thing, it'll be this. Just because you feel lonely doesn't mean you're ready for love.
Yes.
It means you're human.
Right.
We all feel lonely sometimes.
Yeah.
It means you may need connections, but not at the cost of your peace.
Right.
That connection may not be a relationship. It may just be that reconnect with your friends.
Yeah.
And don't feel bad if you feel lonely, because loneliness is part of life.
Yes.
But you got to remember, it doesn't have to define your decisions.
That's right.
No, if it feels lonely, yes, get some connections. Hey, listen, we all have friends. Reconnect with your friends. Find things fun to pick up a hobby. Do something to help you deal with that boredom.
That's right.
Sometimes it's not someone you need in yourself. It may just be a thing you need.
Yeah.
You cannot confuse the ache of isolation with a sign that you are ready to love someone, because it takes a whole lot more to love and to commit to a relationship.
Yes.
So the best thing you can do is use this time that you're alone, to grow.
Yes.
That time, use it to heal yourself.
Right.
To figure out who you really are. Because that will be highly beneficial to you if you go into a relationship knowing exactly who you are. And when the right person comes, you won't be looking for someone to fill a hole. You'll be looking for someone to build a life with.
That's right.
So when you're ready, the right relationship won't feel like a pressure.
That's right.
Because I know there's a lot of people who are in a relationship and it's a heavy weight on their back trying to deliver on all these expectations. And the reason is social media, but many times they weren't ready for a relationship.
Oh, they weren't ready for it too.
Yes, because social media can impact a lot of stuff.
Well, the reason why I mentioned social media is because they are seeing what's happening and they want to be.
We can see what's happening, but if you really understand what makes a relationship work, social media should not have anything to say with it.
Yeah.
Social media should not have anything to do with it. Because if you know I'm with this person because I want to do that, who cares what's happening in social media?
Right.
Because I'm in this for me. But you have to be ready to know that when you get into this, you know why you in it.
Yes.
And both you and your partner are going to work to make the best of it.
All right.
So, guys, if this episode helped you in any way, if it helps you maybe see things differently than how you've been seeing things, please pass it on to someone. There may be someone in your life who may need to hear this. Maybe it's a coworker, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a family member, maybe it's your neighbor. Pass it along. And be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast. I know many of you guys have been watching, you haven't subscribed, and we'll appreciate it if you subscribe, because that does a couple of things. You get notified whenever we put out a new episode. It helps YouTube know that you're interested in what we're doing, and we appreciate it. Yes. And who knows, the next episode may be exactly what you want to hear, and we want to be the one to provide it to you.
That's right.
So guys, we appreciate you, and until then, take care of yourself. Peace.
Bye.